Hello? What are you doing here?
Oh, sneaking in here like that.
Oh, not you.
Oh.
You. Welcome to Sandbox, episode 40. Today, we're just
What
going
an
to be
exciting
talking...
introduction to the episode.
Today, we're just going to be talking about the 1940s. So buckle
Yeah.
up, kids. The 1940s was just crazy. We're going to start by talking about gaming media of
Blitz.
2021.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, which of course Churchill himself predicted in the 40s, so it's relevant.
Yeah.
How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Jamie?
I'm all right. I'm okay.
Are you excited for episode 40?
Yeah.
You don't sound excited.
There's some fun. There's some fun games coming out.
Yeah.
But like news-wise, no, you know what? News-wise is good this week because last episode we were kind of like scratching the bottom of the barrel
Yeah.
for news. It's January, but this episode is going to be very exciting. So
That's good.
we're going to get right in actually because there's a few things I want to discuss with you.
Go for it.
This might not sound. This is exciting for me only, and it's not actually that big a headline at all.
Yeah.
But you might find it exciting as well, actually.
It's going to be something anime.
Jack, tell me what Balan Company make.
They make Balan.
Yeah, they do. Balan Company are releasing a free demo, a free one, for Balan Wonderworld next week as of recording this podcast.
That's really exciting. I hadn't heard about that.
I'm really excited for it. I really want to give it a go. Something at the back of my mind tells me that it might be an Epic Store exclusive, in which case I'll never play it ever. Oh no, it's not.
That's good.
Okay, so I think perhaps there's a demo. There's at the very least it's a demo on the Switch. Hopefully on PC too.
That'd be cool. I was wondering about getting it on the Switch when it comes out. I don't know if it'd be worth waiting for the PS5.
See, the problem is it's a perfect Switch game. But the fact that it's coming to PlayStation 5 means it's probably going to be blurry on Switch.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, will the hard drive be able to handle it? The hard drive? The hardware?
Yeah, well, I mean, and the hard drive.
And the hard drive.
Pretty small on the Switch.
Both. That's cool, though. I hadn't heard about that demo.
Yeah, me and Jack are very excited for Balan. That's all there is to that. That's a little bulletin.
That's all the news.
Also, what was that game that by the Way Out people? The next game
Brothers,
called?
Tale of Two Sons?
No, the new one that's coming out. It's called
Working Together.
Yeah, it's something like that, isn't it?
Hazelight Studios. It Takes Two. That's what it's called.
Yeah, this isn't news either. I've just been looking more into that. It looks great.
Oh yeah, it does look good. I'm very excited. I think that would be a fun one for us to play together on release.
So
March 26th, 2021. That's probably one we completely glossed over in our Games of 2021 video because we didn't know what it was.
We did gloss over a few games, and it's funny because I didn't want that video to be any longer than it was.
Yeah.
It's just quite a few games coming out.
We missed out some really big ones, which is quite funny.
I know.
Also, the creator of Hazelight, or the games of Hazelight at least, his brother plays Leo in A Way Out.
That's really interesting.
And he makes movies and stuff. I think he's quite successful. It's very funny.
It's funny because he's more successful.
Very true. That's not news either. So let's move on from the talking about that.
No. Now for some actual news.
Oh yeah.
Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury had a new trailer.
Yeah.
And
we said it all in one breath.
I want to know exactly what your thoughts are on the plus Bowser's Fury segment of this game that is now being added to the Switch version.
Obviously, it's hard to tell from this trailer, but it looks really good. It looks like a really great addition. I love the concept of it. You just don't know how much it's going to be. However, I never owned Super Mario 3D World. I only played it briefly at your house. So it's potentially one I'm going to get. Just for that plus Bowser's Fury.
So it's a great trailer.
Yeah.
Watched it and I thought, man, I wish this was just Odyssey DLC.
Yeah, I guess.
Doesn't look anything like the main game at all. Like, the main game is a completely different thing. It's completely separate.
Yeah, it kind of does look more Odyssey-ish, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's a fixed camera in the main game. It's completely different.
Yeah.
This trailer, although it was very cool, and obviously, Kaiju Bowser was sick.
Yeah.
You know what it gave me vibes of?
What?
It gave me vibes of the Pokemon Isle of Armor expansion pass trailer. In that it looked like, oh yeah, it's this big sprawling new area to explore. But then when you look at the trailer a few more times, you keep seeing the same things, but from different angles. And I kind of get the impression that they basically showed the entirety of Bowser's Fury in that little trailer.
Yeah, like it might be a teeny tiny segment.
I reckon you could probably finish it in half an hour and then you'll never play it again.
Essentially.
That's my bet.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a tough one. Obviously, for me, never having owned 3D World on the Wii U, I probably won't even notice. But it's still pretty naughty.
Well, they add this. I can only assume that they're adding this to entice people who already own the game on the Wii U.
Oh yeah, that's kind of what the thinking, isn't it? And then they sell it for the same price as when it was released.
Obviously, that does that entice me as a Wii U owner? No,
as the only Wii U owner.
It's a bit weird.
Yeah,
it would have been I was expecting. It makes sense now because it says plus, so it's a
little addition.
It's a separate little extra game added on.
Yeah,
but I wish it wasn't like a hard mode, but like a really cool extra effort has been put in hard mode for the entire game.
Yeah,
that would have been more enticing than this. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's very intriguing.
Also,
I mean, we don't know. It could be more than we're expecting. I love the concept of having to team up with Bowser Jr. because Bowser's Fury has taken over. I think that's a really cool thing.
It looks sick. Like,
yeah.
If they turn around and say, yeah, this is there's like loads of different maps that you can do, then I'll completely change my mind. Like, that does look like it looks like a really fun mode. It's just really how long it is and how replayable it is, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's referred to as a new section, so I don't know. Is that like just one world?
What I guarantee you, what it's going to be is you boot up the game, and it will say start game, and then next to it will be Bowser's Fury. They're two separate things for sure.
Okay, it says here there's a new set of islands to explore at your own pace. Bowser's Fury gameplay is more in line with the open world feel of Super Mario Odyssey. You travel around various isles on Plessie's back.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw the various isles, but it's not really, is it? It's kind of
teeny isles.
Tiny.
Say isles, not islands.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also interesting that it's only 2-player when the main game is 4-player.
Well, I mean, it looks about as 2-player as Super Mario Odyssey is 2-player. Really.
Like, give your cousin a controller so that
they can
They
like
don't really have any
kind
control
of
over
control
anything.
Bowser Jr. I mean, from the trailer, it looked like Player Two was having a terrible time. You could barely see Bowser Jr.
It cuts to a living room and there's one person like, and then there's another person sitting there like pressing the B button every now and then.
Yeah, you know, and they would never do this.
Mm.
I would actually buy it if it was its own separate thing, like a £10, like just random little chunk of Mario gameplay called Bowser's Fury. Would be
Mm.
so fun. I'd be so down for that.
That's pretty interesting, I guess.
Like, I don't want to. Not buying it. Not for the whole price.
You can't make me.
Um. Also, another thing which made it very similar
Yeah.
to the Pokemon trailer
Mm.
is that it it looks exactly like the same animation when you use Gigantamaxing
It
on a
does.
Pokemon. It's like
Yeah.
frame for frame the same. Even when it turns around and like Mario's in the corner and Bowser's in the background, it looks exactly like a Dynamax.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
There were many comments making jokes about that. Like, oh, Bowser got Gigantamax before insert random Pokemon name, Plusle.
Nobody in their right mind has got Plusle on their team, let alone Dynamaxing Plusle. You have to be
I
like in
demand
dire
Dynamax
straits if you're
Plusle.
doing Dynamax Plusle as part of your strategy.
I think Dynamax Plusle should be the most powerful one.
I would, plot twist. Um, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes are called Pokemon Diamond Plus and Pokemon Pearl Minus, and the cover legendaries are Gigantamax Plus or Minus.
They become
Midden,
legendaries when you
even.
Gigantamax them.
They just turn into Dialga and Palkia.
I think it should be Pokemon Diamond plus Bowser's Fury.
Can you imagine the two games of Pokemon Diamond plus Bowser's Fury and Pokemon Pearl minus content,
Minus Mudkip.
minus half the Pokedex?
So I guess I'll get Diamond.
Yeah. And then you're still, if they did that, this is how crazy the world is. If they did that, you can guarantee that still tons of people would buy Pearl.
People would get Pearl.
And loads of people would defend it online and say, yeah, all right, Pearl's missing some Pokemon, and yes, it hasn't got Bowser's Fury, but it's just a better game. It's more lean.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah.
Moving swiftly on.
Moving swiftly on.
From Pokemon
Nintendo?
Diamond plus Bowser's Fury,
Yeah.
we're now going to be talking about the new Pokemon Snap trailer.
Oh, I haven't seen this.
Oh, you should watch it.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'll watch it now silently while you discuss it to my face.
It looks. I don't think that the Pokemon Snap gameplay is really my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But the trailer's lovely. Like, it looks like a really well-made game, actually.
I don't know, it says game footage not final.
And the new
What if it
box
comes out
art,
looking trash?
it won't. Have a look at it. Look at this trailer.
But Jamie, game footage not final.
The box art for the game
Yeah.
is really interesting. Pikachu is not on it, nor is
Oh.
Charizard.
God.
The big Pokemon on the front of the box is Megnium, which
I don't know who Megnium is.
Megnium is the third evolution of Chikorita,
Oh.
and it's just like this game's going to be great simply because Megnium is on the box art instead of Pikachu or freaking Charizard.
Yeah, it's always nice when they give other Pokemon a chance. Yeah, I mean, live reaction right now. This looks very nice. I feel like I would much rather play this than Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Doesn't it just look? It's gorgeous. It's like a really good looking game.
Yeah, and
It's like
it's like
clean.
the whole like appeal to me as a child of Pokemon, and that's a really lovely ending to the trailer. The whole appeal to me as a child of Pokemon was imagining living in the world and actually seeing all these animals everywhere, just walking around and doing their own thing. And it's like they're actually interacting with each other and doing things. And
See that was obviously the appeal of the original,
mm,
and it was also, oh my god, these Pokemon are in 3D now.
yeah,
But with HD graphics, they can really take that idea and like run with it. They can go crazy if they wanted to. They can make it really, really realistic and have all sorts of different fun things to spot in the game.
yeah,
I kind of want it. It I
I
don't know what
do.
I don't know what the gameplay is going to be like, but I kind of want it.
Yeah, I do as well. I mean, even if it's just walking around and taking pictures of Pokemon.
That I can almost I can assure you that is exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah, but even if that's literally all there is, and there's hardly anywhere else. It's got rail shooter style gameplay mechanics. Or rail shooter.
Hey, don't knock rail shooters. Kid Icarus Uprising was amazing.
Yeah, that's a good point. To be fair,
Also, I don't like the idea of rail shooting Pokemon. I mean, I appreciate that they probably mean rail shooting as in taking a picture, but this is not what I thought Pokemon Snap was going to be about.
it's just you going around with a sniper rifle.
You just see like, I don't know, Palkia and
I've got
Dialga
Pikachu in my
like
sights.
mating or something. Like, get this out of it.
Oh man,
That'd be a cool story for Pokemon Diamond and Pearl 2.
yeah,
Palkia and Dialga have children, and it's kind of like a kind of Rune Factory Harvest Moon type game. The Pokemon aspect is kind of thrown out the window, and you have to care for this little baby whilst raising a farm.
or like Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Also, I'm looking at the Pokemon Snap box art, and I'm seeing, I think, different box art to you.
Type
I'm
in.
seeing Pichu.
Oh, there's Pichu in there, but that's not
Pikachu is on there.
No, Pikachu is not on there.
Pikachu is on there. Let me share my screen. A completely uninteresting conversation for those listening. I can see. Can you see it?
Yes.
Pikachu. Pikachu is in one of the Polaroids in the background.
Pikachu's in it, but you've got Dodrio, you've got Vermilion, the butterfly Pokemon from X and Y. You've got
there are lots of very different ones.
You've got Grookey and there you go. I'm going to try and remember the new Pokemon names. Grookey and
I don't remember the rabbit. Flame Bunny.
It's very close to that actually.
It's something like Flame Bunny.
It's like Flame Bunny. All right. Anyway, this is not the best.
School Bunny.
School
Bunny. But basically, Pikachu is there.
Would you be able to change your window? Oh, there we go. That's better.
Oh, sorry, did that completely ruin the capture?
Oh, it did, but you could actually still see the box art, so I wasn't too bothered.
Okay, that's good.
But now we're going to talk about something that isn't Pokemon or Nintendo.
Go for it.
Steam.
Oh.
Have published some statistics, and the most interesting one I pulled out.
Yeah.
Which is a lower number than I expected, actually. So, as a percentage, they released their percentage increase in hours played in games on Steam from 2019 to 2020.
Yeah.
How many percentage points more have people been playing games in 2020, the lockdown year?
120.
50%.
Oh, I was close.
It's actually surprisingly not as much. Like, I would have thought it would be at least double.
I thought it would be at least double, to be honest. 50%'s pretty high though. Think about all the other things people could also be doing during lockdown.
I can imagine it's skewed by the people who play games all the time.
Well, yeah, I
Like
guess, and
your
also the
average
people who
person
don't.
probably has played double, but if you're playing 1,000 hours, well, what a stupid number of hours a month already,
Yeah,
there's not enough time in the day for you to double your playtime.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty crazy though. That's very interesting statistics to release.
Yeah,
I wonder
they
how much
released
it'll
their
go down
roadmap.
this year or next year.
Yeah,
If at all,
I don't know
maybe it'll
because
just keep going up.
it might come back up again because of the inevitable influx of new games that are going to be coming out after they were delayed.
Mhm. True, especially if
Uh,
people continue working from home.
yeah. Um. Oh. Yeah. They released a load of other things as well. Like they're releasing Steam in China, which Chinese players aren't thrilled about, because the Chinese Steam is going to be very restricted compared to what
Oh, I
they
bet.
are able to play over VPN at the moment.
Yeah.
Uh, kind of like I think there's something like 70 games that have been approved in China.
Oh my
70.
God. They could just continue to play with VPN though, right?
Yeah, but I think it kind of represents more of a crackdown on it, perhaps. The fact that they're making
I
an official
guess.
Steam for specifically for China.
Yeah, because then maybe they're like, maybe they're going to be harder on it. Like, oh, you can play this Steam. Why don't you play this one?
Yeah.
Whereas at the moment they can. I don't know. I guess you've got more of an excuse of I'm playing these games over VPN because we don't have any way of doing it otherwise.
Yeah.
Although I imagine in China that's not much of an excuse.
Here's another tidbit of news I'm going to throw out
Yeah,
here. So I'm running for quite fast because we're getting towards the end, and then we can really get into the meat of what we've been playing recently.
that's cool.
But this is really interesting. I'm just trying to get a little bit of context for this just now. Apologies. So Nvidia
Yeah.
have very quietly. I don't think it's released yet, but they've announced it. When I say announced, it wasn't actually announced. It was like
Hmm.
it's just appeared quietly
Okay.
as a pre-order on some very specific websites.
Yeah.
We've had the GTX 1000 cards, called Pascal. We had the 2000 cards, Turing. We're on Ampere now. Ampere, the 3000 cards. They've
Yeah.
just released the GTX 1010.
Ooh.
They've gone back to Pascal, which came out in 2015.
Yeah.
A GTX 1010. So there's already a 1030, which is like you can't play anything on it.
Yeah.
It's not designed for playing games. It's designed for playing media only.
Yeah.
So what's a 1010 for?
What? Looking at pictures?
Well, it seems to be, from what I can read, it's designed for offices, right? It's just purely designed as a graphics solution for offices that
Okay,
is dirt
fair.
cheap. But
Do you need to go that low?
wouldn't you just get a CPU with an integrated graphics card at that point?
Yeah, that's really weird. I was waiting for the twist there. I thought I
There's,
thought there was going to be a twist, but there's not. It's
it's
just ten
like
ten.
it's like really really weak, like crazy. Like
It's a bold move.
it's not bold because they didn't even announce it, and they know exactly that no one would care.
It's bold.
But
Let's see how this one plays out.
Sandbox, in classic style, are doing an exclusive on this topic.
An expose.
We've caught them out.
They thought they could sneak this one by us. They thought we wouldn't notice the 1010.
It sounds horrible as well.
It's really
Yeah.
bizarre. It's like when the Xbox went from the 360 to the One.
Yeah, that's dramatic. This one's 360 times worse. Enjoy.
That's how many games you can play on it.
Yeah, well, that turned out to be kind of true.
Sorry, we stripped back all this noise, and we decided to let you just have Halo.
Um, so that's it
That's it.
for news.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna like, I don't know, explain it,
No,
but there is no explanation.
no, it's probably going to be used for offices,
Yeah.
and um, it's kind of weird because I don't think any real details have come out other than how powerful it is.
Which is
It
not.
might not even have a fan. I feel like they could probably just not give it a fan
They
because
probably just not release it.
it's just going to be passively cooled like a mobile phone.
Mm.
I mean, it's considerably weaker than a mobile phone. Let's just put that into perspective.
Well, yeah,
Like modern day phones are wicked fast compared to
I
it.
can play PUBG on my mobile phone.
Yeah, exactly.
My phone's wicked fast.
New phones are getting crazy. New phones are now equivalent to PlayStation 4s.
Yeah,
Why?
it's pretty spooky.
I don't.
Mobile gaming, Jamie.
I just. At one point in my life, I was super into the whole phone thing because I feel like phones were, for a hot minute, quite exciting and were like going places and getting really good and oh my god, all the stuff. And then it reached a point where it kind of it was getting faster and faster, but for no actual reason, unless you wanted to play games on it,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
don't.
I mean, that is the reason. I guess it's nice for people to have the option.
No,
No,
only kidding, audio listeners.
if you want to play games, you have to go to your room.
Right, to switch it up, you're going to tell me what you've been watching, and I know one of the things you've been watching, and we could talk about it.
Well, I know for a fact a little teeny tiny birdie sitting right on my shoulder right now, but he's so teeny tiny you cannot perceive him.
Especially
And
if
he
you're
told me,
listening to audio.
Jamie, that you recently came across a Disney Plus subscription.
I did come across a Disney Plus, a
You
Disney
found it
Plus
in the
subscription.
you found it in the deep dark caves. Um, so I assume, but I'm not sure, you have also watched WandaVision.
So, to your disappointment, I have only watched one episode of WandaVision.
That's enough for me. I watched both episodes of WandaVision as soon as they were released. I've been extremely excited for this every step of the way of announcing it. I thought it looked really cool. It's such a different thing. Kind of a nice tribute love letter to old TV. And just so like experimental and different and kind of creepy and cool. And I love it.
It
And
has a live studio audience.
I really loved it, Jamie. I loved the entire thing. I thought it was so good. It was great if you're a Marvel fan. It was great if you're not a Marvel fan. It was so well put together. Every aspect of it was just done so perfectly.
It was really
was great.
funny.
It was really
I thought
funny.
it was, from what the one episode that I watched, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. So if you don't know, listeners slash viewers, WandaVision is a show about Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch, and Vision from the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
AKA The Vision.
aka the Vision. Now, Vision, spoilers for Marvel movies that came out several years ago at this point. Vision died like a couple years ago, and Wanda has some weird, I don't know, red energy mind control powers. So the whole show is like an old sitcom from the 50s, and it's all black and white. It's all got very old-fashioned visual effects, if you can even call them visual effects. It's done perfectly like a 50s sitcom, and even if it was a 50s sitcom, it would still be good because it's
Yeah,
done. It's a good 50 sitcom.
yeah.
And then there's sprinklings of something weird is happening. Is Wanda unconscious? Like you said last week, are they trapped in an Infinity Stone or something?
So
It's really
yeah,
weird. And they hear like a voice on. I don't know if you've seen this, so maybe I won't say. But you've seen it in the trailers. Like you hear voices of people saying like, "Wanda, what's happening?" Blah blah
I
blah.
mean the trailers really spoil the entire series. To be honest,
Yeah.
they shouldn't have done what
Um,
they did with the trailers.
yeah, I think they were probably worried that people were going to immediately turn off.
Yeah.
Um, ordinarily, I would be a little. Ordinarily, I would agree with you,
If you
but I
get to the
think in
end of episode 1, then you know there's more to it.
yeah, I guess so. That is true. I think I disagree just because I think it's especially for younger like kids and stuff who might watch this. I think it's important for people to like understand that there's something else going on, even though that's kind of obvious that there's something else going on. Um,
Put a spoiler warning then.
yeah, maybe like they did at the beginning of the SpiderMan trailer, but I think it's good they didn't give away like what's actually happening or how it's happening. Like I still feel like I have no idea what's going to happen,
Yeah.
even though I know that every week it's going to jump forward. I don't know, 5 to 10 years in
Yeah.
television or something.
Yeah.
Um, well, I don't even know if it is. I'm assuming it's going to
It
just
does
keep
look like
jumping
it.
forward.
It does look
Yeah.
like it, yeah.
I mean, I won't spoil it, but the second episode, it doesn't jump forward in terms of television era, but I think it starts referencing slightly newer TV shows.
Okay.
Um, like I think the first one is more I Love Lucy. The second one's a little bit like Bewitched.
Hmm.
Maybe some other things, and it looks like it's going to go into like I don't know, maybe like Desperate Housewives in the future. It's really weird.
It does.
Roseanne.
I,
It's great because there's so many Marvel references sprinkled in, and obviously, I love going on Reddit and reading like the episode discussions afterwards. There's some great discussions and theory crafting on there. But there's also just great references to television in general.
I
It's
know.
just really fun.
It's really cool
Yeah,
how they're doing that. I mean, to be honest, they kind of it's still entertaining to watch as a non-Marvel fan, I think.
yeah,
But they do immediately start making jokes about the Vision's indestructible metal head and stuff, which
yeah,
is
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah. I mean, they complement both of it so well.
I
Like he's
think I
like,
think the whole like it's a retro 50s TV show, but oh,
mm.
by the way, they are definitely still Wanda and the Vision. Like they're not
Yeah,
they're not like human. They are 100%.
it's great. It's really good, and I mean, yeah, there's just so many stupid things. Like he's trying to hide they're trying to hide who they are.
Yeah.
He's trying to hide the fact that he's a robot. And they just say such stupid
I'm
things.
a 100% biological life form.
Yeah, just like you. And then the studio audience cracks up. It's like they're like sitting in bed. They're in two separate beds because it's the 50s. They're not allowed to share a bed. And then he's like, "Wanda, are you turning the light on with your mind again?" And then it's just stupid things. He looks out the window because they hear a noise outside. She's like, "Are you using your night vision?" And then the audience cracks up. It's just like, it's just so good. It's really good.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to more. It looks like it got rave reviews online. I did see some YouTube comments that were clearly left by children saying it was really boring and the worst thing Marvel have ever done, which I was a bit sad. I hope kids would kind of give it a chance, but
It's 100% not. I mean, I truly believe that as the Marvel movies, obviously I realise it's not a movie, but it might as well be a movie
I mean, yeah,
because
these Marvel shows are, yeah,
I feel like WandaVision, by the time it's done, is going to be on par with, in terms of if in terms of everything, it's going to be on par with a whole movie.
Hmm.
They I've completely lost track of what I was saying. They've refined and refined what makes Marvel movies entertaining, and they are now
Mm,
at a point where I think they are close to have perfected the formula. I think
mm,
they released it was when they released Guardians of the Galaxy, I think,
mm.
and I think after that there is a distinct change, and movies they started to get more fun, but also
Yeah,
but not too goofy. Just
yeah.
they knew what people wanted,
I
basically.
think Guardians of the Galaxy was perfect because it was that moment. Not the film was perfect, but
Yeah,
what happened around it was perfect
yeah,
because it was the point where they realized that they were so big and successful that they could start doing weird experimental things. And the comics are so weird.
yeah,
Like there's
yeah.
so many weird things you can do with pre-existing stories. And I think they really after that they really started to hit it. And yeah, like you say, they've started to kind of perfectly balance um, being fun and a little bit campy and silly, but also taking itself seriously and allowing the audience to
Yeah,
take itself seriously.
yeah.
Um, like Endgame, well, and Infinity War is probably a better example. It's full of stupid Marvel one-liners, buttons at the end of scenes. Like it's got the Guardians of the Galaxy in it, talking tree and talking raccoon. But then it's also got the ending where half of everyone dies, including like 12-year-old SpiderMan who's pleading not to die as he disintegrates. And it's like,
12-year-old Spider-Man.
may as well be. And you're sitting there in the theater, like, try not to cry as all your childhood heroes die. But it doesn't feel out of place or like it's from a different movie.
No,
They balance it really perfectly.
it's
I don't know how they pull it off, but they
you
do.
know you're right. I actually don't know how they pull it off. I
Yeah.
feel the vibe. I do think that Infinity War has a different feeling to all the other Marvel movies and Endgame,
Mm, mm,
and I think maybe that is because they are trying to strike a careful balance
yeah.
between all of the characters. Like
Yeah.
you can kind of get a sense that whenever you see the characters, there's like maybe it's the way it's that they're filmed or
Mm,
the lines they say, but all
mm,
the characters are a little bit different to how you remember them in their movies. Like when you
yeah.
see the Guardians, it's not oh yeah, it's James Gunn Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like they're the same characters, but it's filmed in a slightly more Avengery way. If you
Yeah.
do you get on,
I
it's
think I don't know what it is, but I think I feel like most of Doctor Strange. I think it's because his movie's a bit more serious and it's filmed in quite a dramatic, like hospital drama kind of way. And then obviously he's quite a bit sillier in his other appearances, like in Thor, because it's
yeah.
a Taika Waititi movie. Um, but yeah, I think they do that well though. They adjust the characters ever so slightly so that it feels like the same character, but they just fit into this movie a bit better.
Is Doctor Strange in Thor?
In Thor Ragnarok, he is. He makes Loki fall down for 30 minutes. I've been falling for 30 minutes. It's when they first go to Earth, and he shows them where Odin is.
Wow, I completely forgot about that part of the
He
movie.
fills up his beer.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the after credit scene of Doctor Strange. Actually,
That's really I completely forgot about that.
yeah, there you go.
I thought that was in Infinity War.
No, yeah.
Huh.
I mean, it's kind of a similar
Is
first
it?
appearance in
Yeah,
Infinity
it
War.
is
It's
very
in the same
similar. Yeah,
library or whatever it's called.
Sanctum.
Sanctum, thank you.
I say that because I
Big
literally
fan
watched
over
Doctor
here.
Strange yesterday.
Oh, there you go then. I guess we'll get onto that soon.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but basically, WandaVision is incredible. I really love it. Yeah, it feels, I don't know, maybe this is just me thinking this. I probably wouldn't think this if I did rewatch them as you have very recently. I mean, I have rewatched all the Marvel films like a couple years back, but it feels a little bit like they're kind of growing up, maybe,
No,
with the
I think they
audience.
are. I think they actually are. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm thinking maybe that's untrue because the first Iron Man film was about like a
Yeah,
warmonger who sells guns to terrorists,
the
which I guess
first
is
Iron Man movie is, on in Marvel terms, kind of dark. Like it's very
yeah.
serious.
And then Captain America's like a World War II movie. I feel like maybe I'm making up that they're growing up.
Also, I think the whole, although Age of Ultron isn't very good,
Mm,
not really. I do think that the idea of these superheroes actually causing way too much collateral damage and then
mm.
the impact that has in the next movie, Civil War, I actually think that's it's quite a grown up
Yeah,
concept. It's actually yeah, like depress.
yeah.
It's really depressing.
And I love that concept. I mean, that was the best part of Batman v Superman for me. It was like the opening scene where Bruce Wayne's running through Metropolis and Superman's destroying everything. Although I then hate the fact that his whole office of workers are waiting for Bruce Wayne to tell them to leave, even though the entire city's been destroyed around them.
Um, I think I just nuked that movie out of my brain. To be honest,
Yeah,
yeah,
we can get into that another time. But I'm very excited for the future of Marvel.
yes,
Um, I mean, there's stuff like the Black Widow movie. Um, I can't remember who it is, but they've I think they've hired like a fight choreographer who is really really good. I'm pretty sure he did the Winter Soldier. Um, and I think someone this is all the most I think thing I've ever said.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure Marvel basically said that they're going to like up their fight choreography and start focusing more on that in their movies, which I think sounds like a really cool thing.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, they've got the I can't even remember the name of the character.
Taskmaster.
No, not Taskmaster.
I don't know
Um,
what you're talking about, to be honest.
there's a new. It's like Legend of the Seven Rings, but I don't know what the character is. That's like martial
Uh,
arts, right? That entire movie.
Shangri-La. I can't remember.
I don't, but you know what I mean. Like that movie. I feel
Yeah,
like that's just going to be a straight
it's
up
martial arts.
martial
Yeah,
arts movie.
yeah,
I mean, Daredevil, which technically is part of the MCU,
yeah,
Daredevil was just awesome. The fight,
yeah,
the corridor fight scene is legendary at this
yeah,
point. It's so good.
yeah. It's so good, and yeah, I can't think of a better example in the movies than the Winter Soldier for
Oh,
just incredible fight scenes.
how good would it be if they brought back Kingpin for a future Spider-Man movie?
Oh yeah, they have to. I'm sure they will, especially now they're delving into like Spider-Verse stuff.
That's what I was going to say. You were saying about it growing up with the audience, and I do.
Oh yeah.
I
Wait, you've just gone silent. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. What happened? You just muted mid sentence.
hello.
I can hear you now.
That was weird.
What happened?
No idea.
Okay. Um,
Anyway,
trim around that. So, growing up with the movies.
yeah, I was saying we've slightly deconstructed that theory with the fact that Iron Man was probably one of the most grown up of the lot. But
Yeah.
I do think the whole Spider-Man multiverse movie is that's that's not for that idea of bringing back the old Spider-Man is not for kids. Like kids don't care about
About Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man or probably not necessarily Andrew Garfield either. Really, that did come out quite a
Mm,
while ago now.
mm.
I think I think that's just they know exactly who a big chunk of their audience is anyway.
It's almost like growing up by growing down. It's like growing up by getting like sillier
It kind
because
of is.
that's what our age want to see at this point. We want to see goofy, campy nostalgia.
Yeah, I want to see silly but grounded within their own rules still, which is what
Yeah.
they're doing. They've actually established the multiverse
Well, not
years
quite
ago.
yet.
No, Doctor Strange. That's
Yeah, I guess he did.
literally all about the
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
multiverse.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he
Plus
did.
also Loki. the series is entirely about an alternate universe of Loki.
Yeah.
So
And obviously they kind of tease it in Spider-Man Far From Home, but that obviously turns out to be a bait and switch. But still,
yeah, but considering we now know what the next Spider-Man movie is,
yeah.
I still haven't seen Far From Home.
You haven't seen Far From Home?
No, that wasn't a spoiler because I obviously already knew that. But
No.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's like in the trailer.
yeah.
I didn't realize you hadn't seen Far From Home though.
No, I'm just gonna save it now because I'm making my way through all the Marvel movies,
Yeah,
and
just
I've
watch
got
it
Disney
when you
Plus,
catch up.
so I can easily watch the new ones now.
It's really good. It's better than the first one. I really love it.
I have been negligent on this podcast.
No,
I
I've
have
been
I've
not giving you a
forgotten.
chance to speak.
No, I've forgotten a news item,
Oh,
a pretty substantial one.
hit me.
So in true classic Sandbox form, we're just going to shove it in the middle. I don't want to talk about it too much because I do like talking about what we've been playing and stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
But CD Projekt Red released a Cyberpunk update roadmap.
Yep.
Uh,
Cool. I forgot
the
that happened this week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Basically, very very rough. Intentionally, obviously, they've
Keeping it a little vague.
it doesn't have any months on it, but they've got this little timeline which says patch 1.1, patch 1.2. They've got 3 DLCs, some kind of like the first at the end of the first third of the year, and then towards the beginning of the last third of the year, there's a next gen console update. No mention of expansions,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah, I
get.
mean, if they mentioned expansions at this point, people would kick off.
They were going to mention it before it released originally.
Yeah, but I
They
think
said
that's
that.
fine because people think, oh, that's fine because they're going to release the game, we're going to play it for a while, and then the expansions will release and that'll be fun. But now it's like they shouldn't be working on expansions. They need to focus on fixing the game.
Well, they certainly are working on them.
Yeah.
um,
I mean,
I
they've
don't know
got
if you know
lawsuits
this.
coming.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if you know this or not, but when you so there's a couple of things that are teasing the expansions.
Mm.
Whenever you go to the edge of the map, it says you can't go here yet,
Oh, really?
which is weird because it says that in all directions of the map. So I can only assume at some point there's going to be an update which gets rid of the word yet when they've done all the content for the game.
I reckon they're going to release a city in every direction. There's going to be day sitting,
It's just one big
morning
marshland.
city, night city, evening city.
And also another hint of the expansion is that
Yeah.
there's in your attributes you've got cool, intelligence, body.
Mind, spirit, soul.
There's 5 of them. There is a
Cool.
6th slot, very very visible on the screen,
Mm.
and when you hover over it, it goes fuzzy,
Oh,
and that has no function right now. That is not. You cannot actually do anything with that right now.
I wonder what that could be in an expansion.
So they're adding a new attribute, but I mean they clearly have plans for DLC if they put that in there.
I hope it's charm.
I hope so. It'd be cool to have a whole speech tree. That would mean they have to actually put effort into the dialogue options.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Well, that's pretty exciting stuff.
That's just that I wanted to throw in. I forgot about that. It's kind of
It's a bit
important news.
cyberpunk. No, that's cool. You know, here at Opening Beta, we have the motto better late than never. So that's all I've watched. I haven't watched any movies. I haven't really watched any other new television. I've just watched WandaVision, which, as I said, I loved. Have you watched Mandalorian yet?
No,
Interesting.
obviously that I'm gonna watch that as soon as I've caught up on One Division, which obviously won't take very long.
That'll take approximately 25 minutes.
That's obviously what I'm gonna be watching next.
That's cool. That's something we can discuss in future. So, Jamie, what have you been watching?
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to skip to playing.
We can skip to playing.
Because I haven't been watching a whole lot other than Marvel movies and stuff.
Doctor Strange.
I've been playing a lot more though.
Go for it.
So there was a new demo. I don't think it came out last week. I think it came out 2 weeks ago actually. For Bravely Default 2.
Oh yeah.
Which I've played, and it's interesting. It's just kind of like a very, very traditional JRPG.
Yeah.
I kind of want it.
I mean, yeah, a very traditional JRPG is your favorite genre.
I kind of want it because I haven't played a turn-based JRPG on the Switch at all. I don't think.
Fair.
No, I haven't, because I think all the ones that have come out I've already played anyway on my PC. So I'm quite excited because turn-based RPGs are so much better on a handheld.
Yeah.
There's not much I can really say. I've never played a Bravely Default game before. For those that don't know, or yourself, do you know why it's called Bravely Default?
No, I don't think you mentioned that in the 2021 video.
So there's 2 extra options, which I think is actually really cool. There's 2 extra options on the fight screen. There's Brave and Default.
Okay.
And the way combat works, it's very traditional, except you can only do a move of whatever, attack, use an item, etc. If you have enough battle points.
Yeah.
And doing an action takes up 1 battle point.
Yeah.
And at the end of every turn, everyone in your party, when they end their turn, they gain 1 battle point.
Yeah.
If you Brave, you can do multiple actions in 1 turn.
Okay.
And then it uses up the number of battle points equal to the number of things you did using that Brave action.
Yeah.
But then obviously you lose points. So if you're on 1 point and you use 3 moves, you go down to -2, and then you have to wait for 2 turns before you can do anything with that character.
Yeah.
Defaulting puts your character into a defensive position, and you get an extra point for doing that.
Okay.
Now, that actually does add quite a lot of strategy to the game.
Yeah.
Because, for example, if you come across a load of trash enemies, you can just spam Brave on all of your characters, and you'll finish it, and you won't have to wait any turns because the battle will be over immediately. If you're doing a boss and you're expecting it to do a really big attack, you will go into default, which raises your defense, and then you can unleash hell the next turn after it's done whatever move it's doing.
Yeah.
There's more examples of how it can work, but it's kind of cool actually. It's very simple concept, but it actually works pretty well.
Yeah. It does sound like a cool little system.
Yeah.
It's meant to give it a little edge.
There was also a Monster Hunter Rise demo that came out last week.
Oh yeah.
I didn't play much of it, mainly because my Joy-Con has severe drift, and playing action games on it is not,
as previously discussed,
exactly possible.
That's so sad.
It seems like a good game.
Yeah. I really like the left side of the screen, which I keep running towards.
So honestly, that is exactly what. No, the thing is, my movement, my left Joy-Con stick's fine. It's the right one. So I'll be running, and there'll be a dramatic, attack I'm about to go in for, and it's just like, oh no!
For those listening, Jamie just swung his head up and his headphones fell off.
I haven't got much to say about that. Looks good.
Cool.
Here's a fun one I want to talk about though.
Hit me.
At the moment, and I'm gonna regret putting these words out on the internet. I downloaded the Epic Game Launcher
Yeah.
because Star Wars Battlefront 2 is free at the moment on it.
Okay.
Free to keep, that is. Which is, I couldn't really say no to that
Yeah.
because I kind of really wanted to play that game,
Yeah.
but never wanted to buy it after all the controversies.
Yeah.
Turns out, after what, 3 years since it's released,
Something like that. 3 or 4.
it's really good. It's really fun.
Yeah. I've heard good things, to be honest. My housemate at university, well, our mutual friend, brought it on release and really loved it, and I played some of it then, and it was very cool. Some moments. I would like to reiterate though, Jamie is now an Epic Store shill, and he only did it so that he could support demonic EA.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit of a combo, isn't it? EA and Epic at the same time. I know.
Did you feel a sense of pride of an accomplishment when you downloaded that game for free, Jamie?
It's funny because I did pretty well in my first game. I'm not going to explain Battlefront to you because that's an old game.
Yeah.
But pardon me. I think obviously I saw all the complaints about the microtransactions and stuff, and now it's the game that it always should have been. In that, the only microtransaction stuff is cosmetic, which is fine, and you can use all of the heroes and stuff when you do well in the game, like it should be. Like if you get a load of kills, do a load of stuff, you get enough points, you can play as a hero, any hero, and there's loads of them. There's like 30 heroes in total throughout all 3 eras of Star Wars.
Yeah.
There's tons of maps. The game looks incredible. It's just a lot of fun. And also, the game actually defaults to the third-person perspective now.
That's cool.
So they really are trying to hammer in, no, this is
Yeah, I mean, at that point, that sounds like everything you want from a Battlefront game.
It kind of is.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe I'll join you in that Steam betrayal.
I was going to mention it to you. You should get it. It actually
is it still free?
Yeah. It's £35 on Steam.
Yeah. It's a lot of moolah.
And I did actually find that I was actually doing quite well. And I'm not, and that's not to say that I actually am good at it necessarily.
Yeah.
I think the game's quite old school with its shooting. And I think I just kind of slotted right into that gameplay immediately. It felt very similar to the originals. The aiming down, there's no aiming down sights. So it's kind of really is back to basics. And I quite liked it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's exciting stuff. Yeah,
Probably
I mean, no one aims down sights in Star Wars.
Unless you're a
They just
sniper.
kind of shoot from the hip.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's great though, because all of the characters are so just lovingly designed. Like, playing as a super battle droid in particular just felt so cool. It could be a droidica as well. And like, I mean, I hate being them. I find them really horrible to play as. But like,
they were the best in Lego Star Wars.
Killing droidica
Yeah.
is very satisfying when you see someone roll up from the enemy team and then you just kill them before they can actually get their shields on.
They spend hours getting there.
It's great because it costs points to play as a droidica. You can't just summon one. You have to be good. You have to get some kills first. So if you see someone just roll up straight from a spawn point and kill them immediately, it's just, you know, they're really going to be raging.
You've ruined their day.
Yeah.
Oh man. That is very cool, though. I might look into that deal because I would very much like to play a bit of Star Wars Battlefront 2. I would also like to get into more Star Wars talk with you at a later point in the podcast, but not just yet.
Interesting.
Do you have any other games to talk about, Jamie?
I do, but I feel like I've been talking too long now, so I think you need to have a turn telling us what you've been playing.
I've only got one, so I may as well go now.
All right.
It seems to have been a very demo week for us because I also played the Little Nightmares 2 demo.
I watched it. I watched a video.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I did play it on the channel, so you can watch that. But it's one I want to talk about because it's Little Nightmares and it's really exciting. So the demo was really good, really spooky and creepy. There were moments that are absolutely terrifying. Like there's a moment, I mean, you saw the video, the bit where you're in the attic and you have to retrieve a lever and you walk into another room and there's a giant, like, I don't know if it's a giant doll or if it's a real woman who's been taxidermied, but there's just a giant woman holding the lever and you have to walk over and yank it out of her arm. And I literally felt like she was going to turn around and grab me, but me in real life, I was just terrified.
It is very. It's like exact same vibes of the last game.
Yeah,
but obviously a completely different environment now.
It's really good. I mean, the kind of open woods at the beginning was like really spooky because it felt like anything could come from any angle.
Yeah.
It's
probably,
such a good
they're
game.
probably going to do that, aren't they? There's going to be loads of moments where things come from the foreground or the background.
It looks like a really I actually read up more on it because I had watched the trailer and stuff, but I kind of avoided reading too much about it to avoid spoilers. But I did give in a bit. I read some stuff about it. So the main character is called Mono, the bag on the head boy. And there's this thing called the transmission, which looks like there's something playing on all the TVs that kind of brainwashes all the adults in the world.
So interesting.
Like Incredibles 2. Something like that, very weird. And he has to kind of go around and try and stop it. And there's all these creepy things. Like I mean, the whole game is like you're walking through a city, which is obviously very different.
Yeah.
And one of the set pieces that has been kind of quite heavily promoted is a bit where he goes into a school and there's all these creepy like China doll children that you have to like smash with a hammer and they try and like grab you. And there's one of the new big monsters is a teacher. And she looks very spooky, but also her neck extends. So you're like hiding really high up in the room and she like looks up and then her neck just extends up and then she like looks for you in the rafters. It's like, oh.
I love it. The design of the enemies is like super top tier. It's so
cool.
It
was great in the first game and yeah, it looks like they're really carrying that on.
The way they move is gross.
Just the hunter guy in the demo. I mean, I mentioned this briefly in the video, but just little things like he has one hole on the front of his mask and he like looks for you through that. But it's just like the fact it's not two eye holes, it's just one big hole. It's just like a subtle thing that makes it more like unique.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Also,
I'm really looking forward to it. And 6 is in it, which I didn't realise. I did not realise that until I played the demo.
From the last one.
Yeah, she's in this one helping you.
Yeah.
Really cool.
The bit where you get attacked by the back of the shotgun it's really scary. It really comes for you and just
it was kind of more scary because I thought he was going to shoot me. So in my head I was expecting one animation and he ran at me. I was like, oh, I can get away. Yeah, it's really good. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, this whole franchise, they could just keep releasing games. The same basic premise, a 2.5D platformer with just slightly improved graphics, same sort of animation style, same sort of controls, just kind of some more features. This one's got a few more features, even from the demo that the first game didn't have. Like, just
It definitely, yeah, they definitely need to keep adding features, I think, because
yeah, don't want it
um,
to get too stale.
yeah, the aesthetic carries it very far.
Yeah,
But you wouldn't, yeah, you would get a little bit bored if it was too samey, for sure.
yeah, yeah. For me, I just want the same 2.5D platformer. Um, I guess just make it feel not even really next gen, but
Mhm.
like it's evolving over time. Like the same sort of feeling of you controlling the character, but just the character can do more things. Um, yeah, I really love this franchise. I could see them just doing loads with it, and I'm really hype. And it did also really make me want co-op in the future because I realized that would be such an easy it'd be such an easy thing to make co-op,
It's kind of surprising. I mean,
but they haven't done it
you
for
get
this game.
helped by the other character.
Mm.
It gives me, to be honest, it gives me vibes of that game that that indie EA published game um about like people made of yarn. Do you remember that game?
Yeah,
It's like that. The
God,
second
what was
one,
it called?
the
It's gonna
sequel that they
annoy me.
made was co-op. That was kind of the whole thing.
Yeah,
Very similar, 2.5D as well. Uh,
kind of like kind of like a Naughty Dog game. That's kind of a weird comparison to make, but Naughty Dog games, at least recently, you always have a companion, but it's never co-op, and they always help you.
I as soon as you said that, I completely understood what you meant and agree.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Uncharted and Last of Us, never an option for co-op, but you always, I mean, there's brief moments where you don't, but throughout the entire games, you always have a companion.
I think the problem with adding with making the companion playable
Mm.
is that you have to still have plenty of stuff for the second player to do.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't
And
want a Naughty Dog game to be co-op.
no, because the AI would just mess it up, and it would be really obvious.
Yeah. Um, but Little Nightmares, I think, would work very well co-op, and I kind of hope that this game was a little kind of test dip your toes into a cooperative feature.
I can see that.
Um, Again, I don't need it to be co-op, but
I mean, I know it's
I would prefer that in future, I think.
to be honest, Jag. After playing A Way Out, I kind of wanted to do that as well. Have moments where you're together, and
Mm.
moments where you're separated, and have it be split screen. Uh,
Yeah,
that I do think that concept is really cool.
that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the full game. I can't wait. I hope we kind of get more lore as well, maybe even stuff about the first game again.
Yeah,
Because this one feels more like not grounded in reality. That's probably the worst possible way of putting it. But the fact that
very much to the opposite. The game
it's
is
so
literally
realistic.
called Nightmares.
Yeah. But I don't know, just the fact that it like takes place in a city and you kind of get flashes of just real life civilization, like a school and television and shops and stuff like that. Whereas the first game was full on surreal nightmare. You're on a boat, people are coming to the boat to eat children,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh
And
yeah. That I'm pretty sure that's what happened at the end, wasn't it?
yeah, I suppose that could be set in the same world quite easily, couldn't it? Just people from the city go to the moor to eat children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm very intrigued though. I just love it so much. I can't wait for more.
That scene in the first game when you see them all boarding the ship is
Yeah,
so creepy. It's
yeah,
like, oh, there's loads of these guys.
it's very, very haunting. Can I spoil the demo for you?
Yeah, go on. It's only a demo.
Sorry, not the demo, the DLC of the first game. Or
Yes, you
do
can do
you
that.
think we'll play it? Because I have played it now and I know what happens.
I think due to COVID, we've missed the boat on that. So I think you should just spoil it. Yeah.
That's cool. Obviously, it would have been nice to play them together last year,
Yeah.
but that's not going to happen. So in the you might not remember any of this, but in the game, there's a bit at the beginning where Six is really hungry, and that's where Karen Phoenix she gets really hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time it happens, there's a boy in like a canteen behind bars behind her,
Oh
and
yeah.
she throws
Yeah.
him some. He throws her some bread that she eats. Um, And then throughout the game, you find those little gnome creatures that scuttle around, and you can hug them and help them and stuff. And then at the end of the game,
and then you
the
eat
last
them.
time she gets hungry, she eats a gnome, and it's like a really dark moment. Now, the DLC sees you playing as the boy.
Does he become a gnome?
He becomes a gnome. It's revealed that the lady, what happens, he's running around doing whatever. He sees the lady, the
Yeah.
geisha,
Yeah.
geisha lady.
Yeah.
He sees her face, which you don't see in the original game, I don't think. She's looking in a mirror like that, and she's got kind of a horrifying monster face, kind of like all the other characters. And he sees it, and as soon as he sees it, she just turns around really quickly and like grabs him, like with her telekinesis powers, and turns him into a gnome. So obviously, all the gnomes are actually children, which is quite horrifying. And then it is revealed that not only is he turned into a gnome, he is turned into the very gnome that Six eats. How amazing! It's really good.
That is really good. That is really good.
It's a great reveal initially when he's turned into a gnome, and then you kind of have that horrifying, oh no, is he going to be the one that she eats moment? And then he is.
That game doesn't need to have like a big deep meaning or anything.
No.
It doesn't need that at all. But I do wonder if there is a story that they're trying to build up here.
I mean, there's some really good theory crafting.
Yeah.
There's like YouTube channels that are entirely dedicated to Little Nightmares. It's really cool. And there is kind of a general story that you get the idea of. And that's kind of all I want, just a general, here's what's happening.
Yeah. It doesn't actually need to have this, but I just wonder if there is a kind of a sneaky story going on.
Yeah, I like it a lot. And yeah, I hope there's more of that here. And it would be cool to see some references to them more. And maybe some more kind of little, here's how that happened sort of things.
I think there will be.
I think there will be.
The fact that the first character's in it, like,
yeah,
there's probably, yeah. I mean, she wakes up on an island. Sorry, wakes up. She gets out of the place, and it's like an island, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's like a giant boat, basically.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
I mean, it's basically an island because I'm pretty sure it's like gargantuan in size.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm wondering if it's going to be like a prequel.
It could be.
Like,
it could be.
The transmission what turned everyone.
Wait, where did she get the coat from? Does she pick up the coat at the beginning of the game, or is she already wearing it?
She's not. Well, here's another thing. The girl in the hunter cabin thing that you rescue, I think that's Six. But I didn't realize that when playing the demo.
Interesting.
And she doesn't have the coat at the beginning of the demo. If that is her.
Might be a prequel.
So I'm thinking, I don't know if it is Six for sure, but I'm pretty sure I've seen people mention it. It's confirmed that that's Six, which is really cool to me because I played the demo and didn't even realize.
Yeah.
So yeah, in which case, it would be cool if if it's a prequel, and maybe at the end of the game she's taken to them all.
I can see.
And maybe like the transmission is the foundation for all the awful stuff that happens.
I think that would actually make a lot of sense. Yeah, I think that's probably what's going on.
It'd be really cool.
How they turn into monsters is entirely other.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. There's a creepy Slenderman villain in this one. He looks like the big bad. I'm so excited for more of this game. I'm definitely going to buy it like immediately.
Yeah,
probably play through it on the channel, to be honest.
Comes out fairly soon.
Yeah, it's February 11th, I think, like a month from now.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Anyway, that was my deep dive into Little Nightmares.
I'm trying to find the face of the geisha lady.
Yeah. If you just search Little Nightmares lady face, I'm pretty sure it should come up.
But it doesn't look. Oh.
The very first picture when I searched Little Nightmares lady face has it with 3 streamers reacting to it.
Oh, that's That's really bad, actually.
It's really spooky, and it's a really quick moment. You turn the corner, and she's kind of looking in the mirror, and you don't really see her face properly. And then that image you're looking at now is when she sees you. She turns and looks, and you see her face, but it's really sudden. And then she turns around and does the hand thing, and then it's her like Geisha mask again.
Very, very cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
awesome
so
stuff.
that was Little Nightmares.
That was Little Nightmares. Jamie, what's the last thing you've been playing that you wanted to mention?
There's one last thing. We'll round off this podcast with this last thing. It's
Well,
horror related. Oh, you've got
there's
Star
one
Wars
other
stuff as
thing
well.
I'm thinking of talking about.
No. I want to hear that too.
We don't have to, but I'll pitch it to you after this.
So, I've been playing Resident Evil 7.
Have you?
And it's frankly an embarrassment that I haven't played it yet because it is. I haven't finished it,
Yeah,
but I can already tell that it's going to be the best horror game I've ever played.
I
It's
also
amazing.
never played it, but I have watched full playthroughs, so I feel like I'm okay not playing it.
Yeah, I suppose a big appeal is the surprises that you get in it.
Yeah, I think I will play 8-age in full on my own first. What part are you up to then?
So I'm now going to find the sun. I've
Lucas?
killed Spider Lady.
Yeah,
I'm now on my way to find the sun because he's captured Zoe, who's
Yeah.
been talking to me on the phone a lot. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely
Really
brilliant
good.
game. It's so
That's
good.
actually weird because literally yesterday I, for some reason, watched a couple like moments from Resident Evil 7 again. I don't remember what prompted that. I think I saw something about 8 and just got a bit hyped.
There's a live stream of 8 next week.
Is there?
Yeah,
It's very exciting.
they're
Do
doing
you know
like an
about
announcement.
Resident Evil lore, general story?
I do because I played a bit of Resident Evil 3 on the PlayStation 1.
Yeah,
I've now played through Resident Evil 2.
yeah,
I've played Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2.
yeah,
But I haven't really. So I've like randomly dipped in and out of the franchise throughout its
yeah,
history. So my knowledge of the story is mainly based on Google searches,
yeah.
trying to fill the gaps a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of my kind of understanding as well. Is I've watched a lot of playthroughs online, and then yeah, just some googling to fill in the lore and stuff. There's really cool stuff in there though. Do you know how Resident Evil 7 ends?
No, and I don't want to know.
Oh, I wasn't going to tell you if you didn't know.
I do have an inkling of how it ends, unfortunately, because it's difficult to be spoiler free for a game that came out 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So I do have an idea.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff. I think yeah. I mean, we've said this before, but they're really revitalizing the franchise in the best way.
They
The last few-
basically, it's really interesting because Resident Evil 7 is extremely similar to the original Resident Evil on
Yeah.
PlayStation 1. They basically, because it's in a 3D world and blah, blah, blah,
Mm,
it makes it seem like it's a complete, reinvention of the genre. But actually, they've just gone back to their roots. They've
Yeah.
basically completely gone back to what made the original games really good, and have
Yeah.
given it a modern twist visually. It's amazing
yeah, which is what they needed to do. I mean, what was
because they lost their way.
what one it was, but one was just very negatively received
Resident Evil 5 was the big one that people didn't like.
because it wasn't really a horror game, was it? It was an action kind of zombie game.
Exactly. And then Resident Evil 6 also was unexceptional.
Yeah,
Revelations came out on the 3DS, and interestingly, that's kind of when they started going back to what made the franchise appealing.
Yeah,
was with Revelations.
and that's potentially because of the limitations of the system.
It 100%, 100%. That is the reason why
Yeah,
they 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 made an old school Resident Evil game, and it reviewed better than their last two big budget ones.
yeah, which just goes to show how great limitations can be on art.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward to you to play more of 7, though, to be honest.
What's your Star Wars news to wrap this podcast up?
Yeah, so last week we talked through all the Marvel TV shows that are being released,
Oh yes,
and we teased the idea of doing that for Star Wars this week. So I thought that would be a fun thing to end on.
please do.
I've just got 10, so it shouldn't take us too long. And you haven't watched Mandalorian yet, so I will avoid spoiling some things that I may have previously spoiled.
I think I know one of them already.
Okay, well, the first TV show we have, we're going to start with the best one and get gradually worse, is Obi-Wan Kenobi, which everyone already knows about. We cannot wait. We've got Ewan McGregor returning as Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. We now have Hayden Christensen confirmed to return as Darth Vader, or as Jack Whitehall's dad calls him, Darth Vader. It's set 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. It's going to be great. We don't have a whole lot from this period of Star Wars in kind of big movie, TV show form.
Give me. Right, this is your chance.
Yeah.
This is your chance to bring back droids.
Yeah.
The Republic was defeated 10 years ago, but you can't tell me that there's still not Republic armies lying around. Bring
Yeah.
us clones, like bridge the gap.
Yeah.
Tell us exactly why there aren't any robots and clones. I mean, I know where the clones went, but any robots left in the world. Give us that.
Clones will be hard because what's his name? Like Tamura Morrison or something, who plays the clones. He's like 70.
No. You don't. No. Don't have to unmask them.
Oh, you mean actual fully just clones?
I just mean,
Yeah.
would there not be like small, like
Pocket
semblances?
clones.
I mean, the start of a rebellion, surely, right?
Yeah. It'll be cool. Yeah, I'm intrigued by how much we're going to see, because obviously he's basically in hiding on Tatooine watching over Luke. Are we going to see
Yes.
like baby Luke?
Oh, there's no way they're going to miss out on that.
Well, he'd be 10-year-old Luke, so yeah. Yeah, and we might even see old Uncle what's his face and Aunt Beru.
Darth Maul will be in this.
Darth Maul is certainly going to make a return. I'm just excited for Ewan McGregor to be Obi-Wan Kenobi again. I don't care what the hell they do. And I'm really glad that Hayden Christensen's Darth Vader again, because
He never got to be Darth Vader.
yeah, and like it's like, oh, we don't hate you, Hayden Christensen. Come back.
Yeah.
We're nostalgic for you now. We've seen the Disney trilogy.
Also,
And honestly,
yeah,
I don't
sorry.
think Hayden Christensen was that bad an actor in the prequels. I just think the script was so awful. I think there are moments where you see he's actually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you going to say before I rudely interrupted?
Oh, probably nothing of any real quality. It was just really me kind of fangirling about how much I'm excited.
Yeah. Next TV show,
Yep.
Ahsoka.
Say that again.
Ahsoka.
Don't know what that is.
Ahsoka.
No, I heard you.
Ahsoka Tano, or Tano, I don't remember, is Anakin Skywalker's Padawan from Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, the animated shows.
Huh.
She's a big
Oh, I know.
character.
Yeah. I know who this is.
She's a big character in Star Wars animated TV shows, and basically in the whole Star Wars canon, because she's Anakin Skywalker's Padawan. And she's getting her own spin-off show starring Rosaria Dawson live action spin-off show, um, which is very exciting. It's set after everything. I think it's basically a sequel to Rebels, which is very exciting. We might see some live action Rebels characters,
Yeah.
um, Ezra and stuff like that. I'm not massive. I haven't watched the entirety of Clone Wars or Rebels, which I should do. So I'm not massively familiar with a lot of the plot lines and stuff that happen there.
Yeah.
Um, but I know a lot of people that are and that are very excited for that. So that's cool stuff.
So cool.
Yeah. Um, Another fun one is Rangers of the New Republic, which looks like essentially a Star Wars cop show. It's
What?
it's based. I think it's another spin-off of Mandalorian. I think it stars some New Republic people who cameo in
Wow.
the Mandalorian. But it's just because there's some obviously New Republic pilots feature in the Mandalorian, and it's just going to be about them going around, I guess, solving space crime. It's a really interesting show. And they do some cool things in the Mandalorian of showing the New Republic and how it doesn't like what's wrong with it, its flaws, how it doesn't really work, and maybe leading into how the First Order kind of take control,
Interesting.
which is never explained in the sequel trilogy.
No.
It's just the First Order's here. So it will be very cool to see them bridge that gap a bit more, which I think is what they're trying to do with all these shows.
I've said this before, but they could actually save Star Wars by doing this.
Yeah, which I think that's the intention. And
How dumb is
ordinarily,
that?
this would feel like just throwing stuff at it to try and fix it, and it would feel like stupid. Not to rag on DC yet again in one podcast, but I feel like DC kind of did that when they were just throwing stuff out, trying to keep up with Marvel and with the trends, and it just became an absolute cluster. But this feels like they're kind of stepping back, thinking, here's what we need to do, planning out a ridiculous amount of TV shows, but actually doing them properly.
Very cool.
And with a holistic plan, which is probably the best thing they can do.
You said you got 10.
I do have 10.
Right. You go.
Andor. Remember Andor? Diego Luna's character from Rogue One. He's got his own show, Jamie.
I do remember that, actually.
This is probably the one I'm least excited for, but it could be cool. It's got like Stellan Skarsgård in it, Fiona Shaw, a few other people, potentially big, but I'm not sure. It's kind of an interesting thing. That could be fun. It's just Andor going around doing like, I don't know, assassinations, espionage. What does he
it's
do?
definitely interesting.
It could be cool. I'm not looking forward to it massively, but sure. The Acolyte is one that sounds very cool. This is set 200 years before the Phantom Menace in the High Republic. This is something I was talking about last week.
Way.
No
way are they doing this.
Because you were saying, oh, they can't just ignore the sequel trilogy. And I said, they can if they just set things way in the past. You
did say that.
You what?
You did say that, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I did know this was being made at the time, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But you can... There's like hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of years of Star Wars mythos that you can delve into. They could ignore the sequel trilogy if they wanted to, and they could do things like this. The High Republic. I'm really looking forward to it.
That's a great idea. That's gonna be great.
It's the Jedi's in their absolute heyday. It's a really cool thing. I'm looking forward to that. The Bad Batch is another Star Wars: The Clone Wars spin-off, which is animated in the style of the Clone Wars. I think this is a group of characters that are actually in the Clone Wars, and they're now having a spin-off. This looks pretty cool as well. I would probably want to watch the Clone Wars before watching this one, because I think it's heavily continuing on from that.
Can I just make a quick um, interjection?
Do it.
The Obviously, I realise that the only reason how these things are being funded is because of Disney. I appreciate
Yeah.
that, but I can't. There is a nice thing to be said that you can watch all of these things in one place.
Yeah.
Because am I right in saying that Clone Wars is on Disney Plus?
Yeah. All the
So
Star Wars.
having all of this stuff in one place is probably going to make this like even more successful, purely
Sure.
because you damn well know that if this was being done by Lucasfilm on a studio by studio basis, it would be all over the place. There'd be one.
Yeah. I
There'd
mean,
be one
it's
on Netflix. There'd be one on Amazon Prime. It would be
pre-Disney Plus. Yeah.
it would
It's
be a
like, oh, I want to
nightmare.
watch this one. That one's on Netflix. This one isn't, so I have to rent it. This one's here. This one's here.
It would be you wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
And the whole Clone Wars thing. I mean, apparently it's really good. I've never watched the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Now that I can very easily watch that old TV show, I might actually do it.
Yeah, for sure. We could watch it together after lockdown.
You know what? Let's pencil that in.
It's locked in. Yeah, I mean, definitely, it makes all this easier. It's going to be great for Disney. It's probably going to be awful for the world in some sort of secondhand way.
Maybe.
And the next TV show is Lando. It's about Lando Calrissian. I don't know if it's going to star Donald Glover or Billy D. Williams or both. There's apparently hints that it's going to be dual timeline and it's going to be half young Lando and half old Lando.
I really like the idea of that.
I do like the idea of that, but Billy D. Williams, I'm pretty sure he had trouble standing up in The Rise of Skywalker. He's really getting on. So that might be a risky play. Or maybe it'll just be him, and then the majority of the show is flashing back to Donald Glover.
I
don't know if they're even going to be able to get Donald Glover.
I kind of like the idea of a Lando series. I think that's actually pretty cool. I actually kind of want to know what he is up to.
I think a Lando series starring Donald Glover sounds like a brilliant idea.
It's basically you can do a Han Solo series, but without getting involved in all the baggage that comes with Han Solo.
Yeah, you can just do whatever. Yeah, I think it's a really cool idea. And again, it lets you explore more of the universe that we might not have seen. I feel like it would be kind of similar to the Andor series, except I'm more interested in Lando than I am of Andor.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's cool either way. The next one is Star Wars Visions, which I think. Okay, it's an anime. It's an anime Star Wars show. It's 10 episodes. Anime. It's 10 episodes. Each episode tells a different story. So it's an anthology series. It sounds like Love, Death and Robots meet Star Wars.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that one sounds cool. I think it's going to kind of be like the Star Wars version of Marvel's What If.
Interesting.
I can see you leaning into your keyboard as I describe Star Wars Visions.
Cool.
So that one looks cool. While you're looking at that, I'll talk about the next one, which is A Droid Story. This is a show about R2-D2 and C-3PO teaming up with an unspecified new hero. Jamie, you said you wanted more droids.
This isn't quite what I had in mind.
Screen Rant describe R2-D2 and C-3PO as the Buzz and Woody of Star Wars. I don't know if I'd go that far.
No, you can't possibly liken what I must assume is R2-D2 to Buzz Lightyear. Well, doesn't make any sense at all.
No, R2-D2 is clearly Woody. It's in its infancy, it's in its early stages, but it's being touted as a feat of cutting-edge visual effects blending Star Wars animation with the renowned work of Lucasfilm's Industrial Lights and Magic division. That was directly read from Screen Rant's article. So that's very interesting. And finally, we have The Mandalorian Season 3, of course. Very excited for it. It's going to be great. Can't wait to see what they do with it. There is another one that wasn't mentioned on here that I know is releasing this winter, and that is the Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
Which, of course, a Boba Fett spin-off show. Obviously,
Inevitable.
also looking forward to that.
What about Willow?
Willow.
What's Willow?
What is Willow? It's an old movie. It's a 1988 film directed by Ron Howard. That's just the movie I was referring to.
No, it says Lucasfilm Star Wars Willow.
Willow was made by Lucasfilm, but
It's
it's
in a
not
list.
a Star Wars movie.
Oh, it's in like a whole list of Star Wars movies, and then it has Willow at the end of it.
It's probably because it was made by Lucasfilm. They've got confused.
How weird.
Oh, Willow's getting a TV show on Disney Plus. There we go.
Interesting.
That's so weird. So Willow is a 1988 film. It was the first Lucasfilm non-Star Wars film. It's getting a sequel TV show on Disney Plus.
I've also remembered something else,
Expressing interest,
which is actually kind of it links into what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
Could I say my news as well?
Say your piece.
So it's obvious that they're doing a huge push for the Lucas brand because Lucasfilm Games has now re-emerged from the woodwork.
Yeah.
Originally, Lucasfilm Games made stuff like, I believe, published Tales of Monkey Island and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then they became LucasArts.
Yeah.
Which then got buried and replaced by EA.
Yeah.
Now, EA have lost their exclusivity deal with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm Games has returned under the Lucasfilm Games branding.
Yeah.
And so they've obviously announced all of these series and movies just that you've just mentioned.
Yeah.
We've also got the Indiana Jones game, which I've talked about in the last podcast.
Yeah.
We've now got confirmation that Ubisoft are working on an open world Star Wars game.
I didn't even know about that.
Pretty awesome.
There is a lot going on here, Jamie.
There's a lot. Lucas, it means that the Star Wars license is back in the hands of everyone and not just EA.
Yeah. Which is really cool.
Let's have a quick...
It's really interesting. I mean, this whole... Obviously, TV has kind of been becoming... I don't really know how to describe it. Not just... I want to say higher budget, but not just higher budget. It's just becoming more of a kind of event thing lately with stuff like Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Feels like we kind of entered a golden age again. But with all these Disney shows... And they've got like the cast and crew from all the films, and they're so ridiculously high budget. It feels like a really exciting time for all this stuff. The fact that it can all just be profitable and they can make these things, assuming they will be, it's really cool. And the fact that people like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, who really know what they're doing, are being given more control over
it's
these
fantastic.
things.
It is
It's
brilliant.
really exciting.
Wow.
Wow.
No, just excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't sure if you saw something there. Or
No, just
expressing.
Yeah, I'm just really hyped for... You're right. It does actually... It kind of does feel like a new golden age. Of media in general. I have quite high hopes for video games as well the next decade. I do think that we went for a bit of a bump in the last gen with microtransaction hell.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like we're coming out of that now. It
God, I
feels
hope so.
positive. It feels like the developers are learning. There's been enough failed projects,
And enough
like
backlash.
backlash, like Battlefront 2, Anthem,
Yeah.
Avengers.
God, Avengers, I was about to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
And maybe even Cyberpunk will discourage people from releasing unfinished games. I mean, not that Cyberpunk is a great example of that. Obviously, it was buggy, but I just mean there's so many studios will release a game and say, "Oh, it's in beta," but you still have to pay £30 for it, and you just never finish it.
I think at the very least, things should be announced a whole lot later than they actually are.
Yeah,
It's all about investors and stuff, obviously, but they should do that more often because you hype becomes astronomical if you wait 10 years for a game to come out,
yeah,
and there will never be a game ready to meet that hype.
yeah.
Like
Until the new
that
Lego
big
Star
space
Wars
game.
finally drops.
For God's sake. It's like that big space game, which I've now just forgotten.
No Man's Sky.
No, it's not out. It's been years in the making.
Oh, Star
Citizen.
Citizen. Yeah,
Yeah, that game was supposed to
that's
come
a
out in
perfect
2014,
example.
I think.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about it for today. There's definitely something else that's either Star Wars or Marvel related that I have to talk about, but I've been trying to remember it for the last 30 minutes and I can't think of what it is. So I'm just gonna ignore it and hope that I can remember it at some point.
When you watch
Maybe I'll
an
talk about it
episode
next.
of Sandbox, please do remember that we are giving you every news item of that week. If we don't talk about it,
It's not happening.
you should probably see a doctor because you're imagining things. Okay.
Yeah, it's fake news otherwise. So just remember that Thor: Love and Thunder is going to star Matt Damon, Karen Gillan, Natalie
Liam
Portman,
Neeson.
Christian Bale, Liam Neeson, and at this point, you and I.
Imagine if you and I got in. He's such a good actor.
Oh, famous Thai actor, you and I.
You and I.
I could have said Irish and gone for you and I.
You and I McGregor.
Whatever. We're amateurs. Goodbye,
Speaking of
Donald
which,
Trump. Thank you for watching.
please subscribe, like, comment, and
Eat your
we
vegetables.
please DM us for investment opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah, we accept cash.
We accept cash card or check.
Go on, Jack.
Oh, I already said a lot about Thor. That was
No,
going to be
no,
my
no.
outro.
Oh, that was your outro, was it?
Yeah, I was just going to list actors and then I hope people just stop watching.